When many students are in turmoil nationwide for a number of different reasons at the hand of the Trump administration, whether it be changes in immigration policy, people's parents losing their jobs because federal jobs are being taken and then given back and then taken again, at a time while students don't even know whether or not certain scholarships or financial aid will be there in a year because of certain anti-DEI policies happening, and then the state of the Department of Education being relatively uncertain. While shit is generally hitting the fan, let me tell you what Barnard College of Columbia University has been up to. Shockingly, at the same institution that has a mural in a dining hall that's dedicated to an alumna who had an FBI record because of her advocacy, student organizers organized, right? There was a sit-in at a library on campus where students were protesting the G-side in Palestine and the school's unique role in that, specifically their financing of it and their manufacturing of consent. And per usual, the institution was like, leave, stop it. We'll give you this lukewarm solution that won't do actually anything to materially change the conditions that you're fighting against. And the protesters naturally continued protesting. And so what did the university do to get them off campus? They said, there's a bomb in the building. Get out of the building. But there was no specific communication to that end to students and staff at large. Like, there was an emergency text that said that there was an active threat, but that was about it. And then also, like, the FDNY never came, which is pretty standard for a bomb threat. And so naturally, a good number of people were like, I call bullshit. That doesn't make any sense. The fire alarm gets pulled, they clear the building. I also think it's important to note that, like, Barnard is connected by underground tunnels. So, like, it's strange to want to evacuate just one and then not the surrounding. For example, like, there's parts of this particular library that connect to other parts of the building. So, like, if you don't know anything about this threat, why would you not evacuate all of the buildings that could be affected by this? In any case, at the behest of the institution, the NYPD comes to town. Not the bomb squad, though. The SRG, which deals with protests and whatever across the entire city. And then they have, like, their zip ties and their prison bus. But I thought the problem was the bomb that was allegedly in the building and not the protesters. And so they did their usual things, specifically what they also did around this time last year with the two encampments, which is brutalize 20-year-old girls. For what reason? It's horrifying, re-traumatizing for everyone that was on campus for those two encampments and then also now this situation. And you know what they did right after they arrested them, before they even finished investigating the bomb threat? They put them back in the building and made them sit there where they were investigating an active bomb threat. Lo and behold, NYPD leaves later and says there's no bomb in the building. But you know what the icing on the cake is? There was an NYPD spokesperson who was asked about this today. And he was like, there were 75 protesters, 9 arrests, blah, 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 blah. And then someone asked, so was this about, like, the protest, or was this about the bomb threat? And he says, what bomb threat? And I don't want to get to like, allegedly, but, like, it is my personal belief that they faked this. And whether or not that's true, this is an indication that, like, these institutions have screwed up so badly over the span of this entire last, like, year and a half period, insofar as their students will not believe them because they've lied to their faces over and over and over again, even in a situation that is as theoretically dire as an alleged bomb threat. And there's this gleefully ignorant belief that these kind of fascistic responses will be subject matter specific and not, like, roll over to students and other movements that are not specific to Palestine. But, like, I think that universities have made it abundantly clear that, like, they don't care about DEI, they don't care about trans kids in sports. Like, trust, this is expanding. And I don't think that people should care about things like repression or things like in Palestine specifically, like this forced starvation, for, like, selfish reasons. But if you think for 1 second that it's not going to come back to you too, dog, you got another thing coming.